Hey guys. What's up? So if you know me well enough, you probably know that I've been trying to experiment and figure out what's the best camera setup for a travel vlogging situation. Some of the requirements that I've always been looking for would be picture quality as usual, good autofocus, decent stabilization, damn good audio. I've kind of pinpointed some of the stuff that I need. The one thing that I've really had trouble figuring out is the lens to use. So a little backstory, I started with a Fuji X-H1, which is great. In-body stabilization, beautiful. In-body stabilization meant that I could use like manual lenses and all that. For my first Thailand vlog, I was actually using a 12mm, or was it a 14mm? But that was a manual lens, which didn't have any stabilization. So the X-H1 was great, but I realized that because I don't know how it works, the in-body stabilization kind of creates a warpy feel to it. So in the long run, not the best. Plus, it didn't do 4K 60. Eventually, I swapped over to the X-T3, which does 4K 60 frames perfect. H.265, 10-bit internal drawback would be the fact that this camera doesn't have internal stabilization. I could deal with that with like gimbals and tripods and stuff, but it made vlogging a little trickier. So during that time with the X-T3, I was like figuring out, okay, what's the best lens I could use to get a proper stabilization, but there weren't a lot of options there. There's the 1855, 1024, I can't remember. And those two lenses were the only like stabilized zoom lenses I could bring around. Eventually, when Fuji announced that they had the 1680 f4 with 6 stops of stabilization, I knew I had to get that and try it out. The day it got released in Singapore, I ran around the island trying to find it, and heng, I found it at a good price too. So the perfect opportunity came out when Shireen's family had a wedding to attend in Ipoh and asked me to tag along. Perfect. Bought a second-hand variable ND, anything that I needed into my bag, and off we go to Ipoh.
Coffee.
Yes.
Đại heavy cho mày nhà em. Còn more like prawn taste.
Char kway teow. Then got egg, got prawn, got ham, everything. You can choose if you don't want anything. Very smooth like. And then the egg yolk, the egg white, sort of adds extra like starchiness to it. I think I'm gonna add the chili a bit. The chili adds a bit of char, a bit of sourness. I think overall I should add the whole thing because it's quite nice.
Hot and crispy gaya.
You've never had a Sing Pao in your life?
My first Sing Pao.
Not bad. This is what? Sour plum and lime. A bit kiam seng tea, salty, sour, sweet. Salty, sweet and sour.
Những gà rau thái.
Yes.
Like cream brulee.
Special instruction: don't 搅 the whole thing until like chop like that. You have different texture, you got the sugar, the sesame, everything adds up. If not, it's just noa 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 and noa. How to bring to Singapore? We're just hanging out around Ipoh Concubine Lane for now. Because they're doing the Jing Cai, we got nothing else to do. So we just shopping, sightseeing.
Just some strong stir.
It's very.
Feels so bad.
Doesn't matter. Oh.
But it really tastes like what it is, so.
What rabbit?
Just tastes like rabbit.
Wow! Really like white rabbit?
Really?
Like that. broth is like got prawn one.
The egg. It's just egg, lor.
Is it sweet?
No,
Is it salty?
no. Yeah, it's just a hard boiled egg in a herbal. Like that, lor. So that's the vlog that I did, a rough vlog with less talking this time around, more shots just because we were running everywhere. And tell me how you like the footage. One thing to note though, the lens when I brought it to Ipoh, it was in the first firmware version. Everything's raw, everything's new. And there were some little issues here and there, as you can see, like certain parts, the camera movement was a little jittery, a bit overcompensating, so to speak. Since then, they've updated the lens twice, one of which includes an OIS update. So I've realized that using that with the new update kind of helped. It's a lot smoother as compared to previously. But I think all in all, the only takeaway is that I love the range. 16 to 80 is a big difference. You're talking about something like this and something like this. Not much here, but when you're holding it in your hand or holding it by a mini tripod, it makes the world's difference. Your head doesn't get cut off. But yeah, other than that, the trade-off being that it's a constant f4 now that versus a 2.8 to 4, I see it as a kind of a win as well, because like, you know, previously it's f2.8 and then when you zoom in it becomes f4. Every time you zoom in, then image degrades and then you have to adjust accordingly. At least it's f4 all the way. I could just stick it at f4, zoom in, zoom out, the exposure is gonna stay the same. So that's, to me, that's a win-win, right? The 6 stops of optical image stabilization is perfect. It works way better than the 1855, which is already pretty good. So this, I can just comfortably hold it, walk and talk. Of course, there's going to be a bit of movement, but it's acceptable for me. Of course, f4 sometimes feels a bit lacking, especially if you're in a slightly dimly lit room, kind of like this one. You'll start to see a few noise and stuff. But it's something that I can learn to live with. I'm fine with that. So all in all, I really like this lens. Would I recommend it if you're trying to go for like vlogging and stuff? Definitely. Word of advice, bring or get yourself a variable ND. That saves lives totally. My setup with this would be to put the aperture at a constant f4, shutter speed at a constant 60, and then ISO at auto, but I will compensate using the variable ND. So in that case, if anything happens, if it gets too dark, the ISO will kick in. If it's too bright, then I will use the ND to adjust for that. It's kind of like setting it at maximum or taking it off when you're indoors, that kind of stuff. Not too much of a hassle, and it gives you the best quality, and you don't have to be constantly fumbling around with the settings because you can't see the screen with this, right? So that's all the time we have it. I hope you enjoy this kind of review-ish, vlog-ish thing. Let me know if this works for you. Check this channel out for the next episode where I compare some more stuff for camera / vlogging / gaming. Bye bye.